The 4 Decades of Rock on 106.1 Rock Radio. All this week, the 80s. Leggings, shoulder pads and multicoloured slap. And that was just the guys. Today, the movies.
In the 80s, it was almost a return, was it not, to the 50s? And it was, once again, the movies were all about stars. It was a reinvention of proper, old-fashioned, 18-carat movie stars like Tom Cruise, like Kevin Costner.
Michael Douglas. Then you got the whole Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and late 80s Bruce Willis thing. I mean, Bruce Willis, again, this is another part of the synergy of TV. And what we were talking about earlier, the MTV generation, and one of the greatest TV shows of the 80s was Moonlighting. It's really what made Bruce Willis a star. The remarkable thing about the 80s was being able to parlay that into movie stardom as well. I watch every week Kiefer Sutherland in the latest Dreadful Day for Jack Bauer and 24. The Lost Boys was 1987.
Why'd he bite you, Mike? Huh? What'd you do to him?
He was protecting you.
Look at your reflection in the mirror. You're creature of the night, Michael. Just like out of a comic book. You're a vampire, Michael.
Patrick Dempsey and Alex Winter. Was he Bill or Ted? I can never remember which was which. I know they were Bill and Ted. Of course I know they were Bill and Ted. But which one was Bill and which one was Ted?
I think Keanu Reeves is Ted, isn't he? Isn't he Theodore? Which makes Alex Winter Bill.
I'm Bill S. Preston, Esquire. And I'm Ted. Oh, great. Bill, here, you take it. Okay. And I'm Ted Theodore Logan. Yeah! And we're Wild Stallions!
Great movie. Lost Boys, great movie. Again, great soundtrack, really stylishly put together thing. And just fabulous to look at, good fun. I think it's a weird thing, as you start moving towards the back end of the 80s, you start getting some interesting stuff coming out of there as well. The CGI new wave, the digital effects started really coming in during the 80s. The thing about the money being around again meant that investment could be made. Previously, special effects had been about stop motion, about miniatures, about clever animation. You know, Star Wars itself revolutionized how that was done, but that was all still done by literally drawing on the film and by having miniatures and by doing clever animation. Moving to the 80s and we start seeing some incredible CGI.
Darren,
Sir,
who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Hello, Ghostbusters. Yes, of course they're serious.
There's something very important I forgot to tell you.
What?
Don't cross the streams. Why? It would be bad.
I'm fuzzy on the whole good-bad thing. What do you mean bad?
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Total protonic reversal. All right, that's bad. Okay. All right, important safety tip. Thanks, Egan.
Ghostbusters is quite early. Ghostbusters is 1984, and you've got that sitting right next to Gremlins in the same year, and Gremlins is classic old school, it's puppets. And then you've got suddenly a 50-foot Stay Puft Man walking through amongst the skyscrapers. You've got incredible floating effects. You've got something that we haven't seen before, and that really began to revolutionise things. Who Framed Roger Rabbit comes up just a couple of years later.
Let's talk about the flash of genius and my favourite 80s film and possibly my favourite film of all time, Withnail and I.
In 1981, you've got Chariots of Fire, and you've also got Attenborough's Gandhi in 82. And then you've got Withnail and I, which couldn't be less similar. It's low budget of an extraordinary degree. And it's Bruce Robinson doing a sort of a semi-autobiographical thing and has gone down in legend, obviously for making a star out of Richard E. Grant, but for the way it was made as well. Richard E. Grant's a teetotaler, and Robinson forced him to get drunk at one point, one massive bender of a night, and then turned the camera on first thing in the morning, actually just after Richard E. Grant had gone in the garden of the cottage that they were filming in to throw up, to get the proper look. Now, I think that's method acting, but I thought method acting had to be sort of voluntary and elective, whereas this was the director saying, what I need you to look like is massively hammered and hungover, and so therefore what I'm going to do is make you drink all night in order for that to happen. But of course, the amazing results of that particular style of directing and filmmaking are there for all to see. It's a film that's gone down in legend.
If you don't leave, we'll call the police. balls. We want the finest wines available to humanity. We want them here, and we want them now.
The thermostats, what have you done to them?
I haven't touched them.
Then why has my head gone numb? I must have some booze. I demand to have some booze.